This is the first phase of a government plan to woo Chinese companies increasingly shifting low-end production to Africa as wages in East Asia rise. African countries are vying for the millions of manufacturing jobs that China is expected to shed. So far, Ethiopia is ahead of the competition with a fledgling shoe and garment-making sector that has made it one of Africa's rising economic stars. Now Senegal hopes to replicate that success with a new industrial park and a deal with a Chinese businesswoman whose shoe factory kick-started Ethiopia's industrial revolution. A $139 million project in the town of Diamniadio is the country's attempt to boost the manufacturing sector.
Of course, with China's experience, we know that today there's a saturation of industrial production in China. But above all, there's also an increase in workforce, and even the Chinese, just as the Europeans did, are today immigrating, going elsewhere. That is why Africa, which is a virgin industry so to speak, when it comes to manufacturing, is something that attracts Chinese investors.
Senegal's Atlantic Ocean port makes it a candidate for export-based industry, but it ranks 147th out of 190 countries on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index due to problems with access to electricity and bureaucracy.
We have already received many requests from African, including Senegalese, European, American and Asian companies who wish to relocate their manufacturing to Dakar. And certainly, this is due to the fact that Dakar has a very interesting geographical location, because we must not forget that Dakar is 7 hours away from the United States, almost 5 hours from Europe, and also less than 5 hours from South America, not to mention the opportunity Dakar offers for inland Africa. And Dakar is within ECOWAS, a market of more than 320 million people. So Dakar is a good entry point.
Diamniadio is said to be a big improvement from Sodida, the main industrial zone located in the capital Dakar.
Diamniadio is obviously going to be a place that is prepared to receive companies. There will be facilities and a certain number of infrastructure and services which will be concentrated in the same space and which should, in theory, facilitate things for companies based in the park. It is still preferable to a rather isolated environment that we can find anywhere. So the Diamniadio environment is quite attractive.
Senegal developed a textile industry in the 1960s, but it was heavily supported by the state, which couldn't sustain it.
We always get a lot of young people who come looking for work. Every day I get 5 to 10 people who bring me their resumes asking me for work, but my hands are tied because of the space.
According to analysts, between 5 and 10 African countries are likely to see their industrial sectors take off in the next decade as production shifts from Asia. Catherine Omwando, CGTN.